I can't run and I can't hide anymore. It is time to face the music. Hola, high fashion dollars. My name is Christopher y bienvenidos to Just Christopher TV. I have to take a deep breath even after doing that because ooh, have I been running from this video for a while. Oh, wasn't expecting that to happen. Okay. Before we get into that, hi there. Let's collect ourselves. This is going to be something I have been hiding from for a while. And before we get into that, as per usual, I like for people to enjoy the videos with a little snack and a drink, a little beverage. So like that, you can really just have a relaxed experience because I am not having a relaxed experience right now. And I'm going to explain why. Whoa, I was not expecting these many emotions to happen once I turn this on. Okay. Before we get into today's video, let me explain why I've been running. Whoa! What is going on? Totally was not, nope, not what I was expecting. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Let's get to it. I'm finally going to be making a dress on this channel. And on top of making a dress, I am going to also draw to the best of my abilities. And the reason why I think a lot of emotions are coming up is because I've been running from this idea for a very long time. I've been thinking about it for maybe 2 years now, and I keep on pushing it to the side, maybe even more than 2 years. And I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but I think it is time to just face the music. So, tears and all, I again did not expect to get emotional like this, but here it is. Raw and transparent for you. I am going to attempt to make my first dress on this channel, and it's a dress that I've been envisioning for a while, and it's a dress that I've been meaning to do for a while on the channel and have not. But on top of making my own dress, I think it's important to visualize the dress for you guys. I mean, you are seeing the thumbnail, so you see the product. I'm doing this as we go, so I don't even know what that product looks like in that thumbnail. But I'm gonna draw on camera to show you my vision or something of that. And showing you me drawing is very raw. I think that's the best way to put it. Although I've taken classes and although I've been to school for it, and I just recently was in a course just 2 years ago, it is not something that I have dedicated a lot of time to. It's not something I have perfected. It is not something that I have actively devoted time to for many, many reasons with myself. But I think in the honesty of this video, removing all the insecurities is just by showing what it is. And by what it is, it's just what I could do. In the era of just being who I am, I think, on every platform and any platform, this is a part of me that I have been hiding that should not be hidden. And it is a part of myself that I should probably not be putting to the side. So I say that all to say that I'm not the most confident person in my fashion illustrations, although I've taken classes, but I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to give something in this video. So, tears and all, come along as I draw and sketch the dress that I hope to make, that I will make in this video. Because no matter how many takes it takes, there will be a dress at the end of this video. And thank you for staying while these emotions all unloaded in front of the camera. I promise you, I did not think that was going to happen. I thought it was just a regular evening and I was just going to give you a cute little greeting. I didn't realize that I would be bearing my soul. And it's fitting because drawing on camera and sewing on camera will be bearing my soul. I have sewn on camera before. I've made a short, I believe, of me sewing. So if you haven't seen that, that's out there somewhere. So I've done that. Oh, and I also sewed pillows for that DIY video where I did the house. So I've sewn on camera. I've just never made a dress and I've never drawn on camera. That's the proper tense, right? We're gonna go with it. I think the more raw thing here is the drawing because I'm actually not that confident in it. I think it's ugly. But we are our worst critic. And I've heard that multiple times where like, it might not be the best illustration, but it's not the worst. And the reality is you gotta do it to get better. And I just haven't done that. So while I've really been rambling, I apologize. Can you tell that I'm nervous? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should stop here and we should just get right into the drawing. Yeah. So I can show you what it is I'm thinking. Okay. So I'm set up for the drawing, but I figured before I start drawing, I wanted to show you the materials that I'm using because I'm not going to be coloring in my sketch. So I figured if you can see the materials, then you'll get a better reference, I guess, to what I'm drawing. Anyways, I might not use everything here, but so far this is what I have. I have this piece of fabric that's already in like this tube shape. So I'm probably just going to need some shaping. So very minimal sewing here. Then I have this. If you are an Integrity Toys collector, you know what this is. I probably have never used it as a veil again and never thought I would. But I think this pairing is really nice together. And in the drawing, you'll see where I'm getting at. I have some ribbon that I don't really know how I'm using. I do know how I'm using this. And again, if you're an Integrity Toys collector, then you know where this is from because it comes with all the dolls and I've been saving them for a moment like this in the famous words of Kelly Clarkson. And then I randomly found these rosés that I'm not sure if I'm going to use or not on this look, but for the time being, I'm going to put them here just in case. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? It has been a while since I've illustrated anything, so bear with me in a way. I have an eraser, but I don't know if I'm going to use it, honestly speaking. Do not consider this to be like a drawing 101 because just don't. I'm probably not the person to be giving you drawing 101. I myself should probably still take some more classes, or at least I think I should take some more classes. I think it would be cool. But I have had enough classes where I should, you see, already confusing myself. But it's okay. We're gonna do what we can. And that's what's important, is just getting something on paper that looks, I really didn't need these. Okay, anyways, so let me go get that piece of fabric again. So this is gonna be the body of our dress. Very clean silhouette. So let's go ahead and just draw that onto my figure that I'm just gonna See, that's not, nah, it's okay. See, look, that's why I don't really draw, because I start giving myself critiques as I'm going. Instead of just kind of like flowing, I usually don't flow. That's a lot more flared than this is, but just go with me here. Okay, so this is a strapless situation. And this is the bottom of the dress. And then what I'm thinking with this, which we're gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna draw, is that this is gonna drape over it like this. I'm gonna try to give you the, at least ruffles, so that you can see where that part is. I wonder what this sounds like other than the siren that I'm probably sure you can't hear, but I could hear. So then this will be over like this. Very dramatic, right? And then I'm thinking to use this ribbon maybe up here to hold it together. And then because it's going to be so heavy, I'm then considering the smaller ribbons on the strap, as a strap, not on a strap, but as a strap, right over here. And then a bit of a bow effect. Not like that, but you get the drift. And then put one back over here. Oh, that's not a bad bow. I didn't give her no arms, but does she really need the arms, guys? You get the idea, right? We have a very tight silhouette, sculptured dress in the bottom, and then we have this like knitted fabric veil over it. And it's gonna, I'm gonna keep as much of it, actually I'm gonna keep all of it. So it's gonna probably have a really dramatic train at the back. And what I'm not sure yet, and I'm probably gonna figure this out as I go, is how I'm gonna close this dress. Because this would be cute in the back as a big bow, but it's really big, so the bow would probably not be nice on scale. And I didn't look to see if I have any closures before I started this. So when I get in my sewing box, maybe I'll see if I have any closures. But yeah, how does this look on camera? Can you see? It's very light. Let me try. I kept this on just to try to give a, like, I don't want to use that end. Let's use this one. The ribbon. This is these are the bows. And then this is the underdress. And then this is the overlay mesh situation that will have this going at the bottom. Right. I'm not going to do the lines because then you probably won't see it, but okay. Does this give you guys a rough idea of what we're doing? Let me bring it on the camera like this. Oh no, I went too close. Anyways, this is our visual. This is what I'm attempting with these materials. Let's start with our doll. Now, disclaimer, if you have a doll that is older and needs a body replacement, I would say use that older body. You do not want to use a doll that you're currently playing with, simply because the fact of pins, needles, thread, she's gonna get scratched, okay? So if you have maybe like a Frankenstein body doll, or if you already have a mannequin in your hand, go for that, okay? But do not leave me a comment saying like, Chris, I scratched up my doll. Well, Chris tried to tell you not to use a newer doll, Okay, now this doll, ironically enough, is slightly sentimental to be doing this video. It's a very sentimental video. This was actually the doll that was gifted to me by my dolly bestie. This was actually the doll that made me convert to Integrity Toys. So it's a hybrid. This is a Mattel face that was customized by my friend. And this is an older Integrity body. So we're gonna roll with it. She's going to be our model because before starting this video, I didn't have an extra body and I don't own a mannequin. So she will be our fit model is what we'll call her. All right, so I wanna start with the base of my dress. Now I already have it in this pre-made situation. Oh, now I remember what this was. This was a glove to my niece's Halloween costume for Tiana. Where's the other one? There should be two. Anyways, I have one. So I decided, because I obviously already have it pre-shaped, that's what I'm going to be using it, that I was going to give you guys measurements just so you can get the same exact shape. So lengthwise, it is about 9¼ but because it is already hemmed on either end, let's give ourselves a nice 10. So let's say the length of your fabric should be 10, and then this is in half. So let's see what the half measurement there is. And by half, I mean width, obviously. I have 3½. So your width should be 7. So 10 long, 7 width. And that will give you the shape that I got going on. All right, now let's see what this looks like on my doll because I haven't even tried it. This one feels a little wider somehow, so I'm gonna go that way. Now, I realized as I was preparing for this that this is not gonna be all the way to the bottom, right? Because if I'm gonna want it to go here, there is a little bit of gap, but that's okay because we have this going on. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Do you see all that space back there? Ooh, child. All right, well, let's start pinning, shall we? Get this back here. Oh, that is a lot more space than I thought it was gonna be. But you know, these are the things that happen when you start working on stuff that you didn't pre-plan. I had the concept of this look in my mind and I obviously had the materials, but I didn't really like plan it per se. All right, I think that one pin is fine for there. We're obviously going to go ahead and take it off. I just now need to decide how far down I'm gonna want this opening. Now, I don't want it to be like pretty tight, so I think we're just gonna do one more pin here to give us that dimension. I don't know why I said dimension. You get the drift. Okay. And now, because this is an underdress, I don't think we need to focus too much on this. So I'm gonna go ahead and not do that for this. What I'm just gonna do is remove the access. I should probably pin it all the way down and give it a whole new, yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. So I can remove what we don't need. Because she doesn't need all that extra fabric even at the bottom. So let's go ahead and create that line with pins, shall we? Okay. Now, for those that might not be aware, this is my first time doing this on camera. So there might be a lot of like dead silent moments and then random moments of me talking. I'll try to put some music in the background so it doesn't feel that quiet for those watching. Although for me, on the day that I'm filming this segment, it's actually raining, so some nice soothing sounds myself. Let me not be lazy. I was gonna be like, I think that's enough. No, let's just go ahead and go all the way to the bottom. You know what's funny? I actually thought it was going to be a little bit, the hem was not going to go as far down as it went. Like I really, for some reason, thought it was going to be like up here. I don't know why. But I think this length is really nice. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this excess off. Let's go ahead and do that. And then, you know what I didn't set up for tonight because that was not, again, didn't really plan this video out. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I didn't set up my sewing machine. And I cannot sew this late. So we're going to have to do that portion at another time. Oh, there's definitely something in here. What was that? Okay. Access removed. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and sew this. I'm going to go ahead and set up the machine. I'm going to sew this. What I need to do is give myself a marker of where I'm going to want to stop, right? Because I feel like 1 and 2 should be my hooks. So I feel like right here is where I should start my seam for the back. Not, you know, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I'm not gonna give it that much time. Now that we have this body, while I'm here, okay, I'm gonna do as much as possible. Let's try to take these and try to figure out how we're going to, you know, I don't really need the arms for what I'm doing. Let's go ahead and take them off. As the video keeps on going along, I'm like, wait, I don't need those in there. If what I want to do next, I really don't need it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put those aside. So what I want to do next is I want to create where this is gonna go. I think I want to prepare. So this is shaped. I don't know if you can see, it's like a weird half moon in a way. So, where should one break it off, you know? Should I do this? That'll be very dramatic. Let's try it. Okay. I'm bringing you along for the journey, guys. I'm bringing you along for every part of the journey. Ugh. You know, that doesn't look bad, but that's not what I'm going for. I really need this one to hit the floor. All right, so I think my best plan of action is to cut this where the line is. Let me explain. Let's take the doll out. So I think if I match my corners, where are they? Okay, these are my two corners. If I match my two corners, I feel like my best plan of action is to get rid of that portion over there and have this like half circle. But I'm afraid of cutting it and it not being what I need, if you get my drift. But I feel like if I do this, I'm feeling really confident about this right now. Because I feel like if I cut it up here and go down this way, I don't need all that access. And this would give me a really nice shape. And if need be, I can add this piece to create a more dramatic train effect. But this would give me a better circle for the hem of the dress. So I'm going to go have faith on myself. And think I'm gonna cut it. I want to make sure that I have it where I want it for like the shoes. Like let's say if she's wearing heels, it's there. So I think I want to do, I want to cut a little extra. So no, I don't. I'm going to do it here. See what I said, guys? Just right there. See how close my scissors were to the doll? Okay. Whew. I'm also working with the limited space that I have here. Because as you can see, I don't really have that much space for my fabric, but we're making do. We're making do. All right, we can put her aside. All right, I started there, right? Just gonna freehand. So I ended up doing that at an angle. I'm not really sure why, but we're gonna see. So this is my access, my extra. This I'm hoping I have. Yes, guys, look. That's perfect. Then we're gonna go ahead and once I sew this together, then I'm gonna sew this. Wow, New York is giving New York. You know what? This is actually not. Just can't have peace, can I? Perfect, let's stop. All right, I should actually move her back a bit. You're not gonna get the full. It's okay, you're not gonna, it's all right. We don't need to see that. What I wanna show you is that now this is actually a pretty good amount. I'm not gonna need the access because that gives us a really nice train situation back there. So glad I did cut it because this is more of the feel and vibe I was going for. I'm gonna pin it just so I know where that goes. But as I mentioned, let's go ahead and set up my sewing machine so I can get this together. Oh, I should have done it the other way around. It's okay. When the sewing machine comes, I will know to flip it because we want this out. We do not want this one showing. Oh, there you go. But yeah, let me set up the sewing machine. Before I get to sewing, I want to point out something that I realized I did by mistake. I got a little too excited and I cut way too much fabric here because I was just thinking of doing that one seam. I really hope, I don't have a viewfinder, guys, so I'm hoping that I'm showing you. Yeah, okay. I had to get up from my seat to show you. So right here, I should have left a little bit more so I can actually do a better hem here. So this side would be cleaner when I do the hooks because I just was thinking of that one seam. So what I'm thinking now is I'm just gonna do a fold, sew that down so I could have a nice clean opening for the hooks and then do my one seam. So instead of that one, I'm gonna stop, fold on either side and then do the one. So let me go ahead and unpin this, flip side inside out and get to the sewing. Okay, now the base of our dress has a seam. There is a little error, but you know what? We're just gonna take it as a happy accident. And I did close the top a bit, but I gave myself some room here to not fully close it. I can go in with a needle and a thread later. I think a lot of this project is gonna be by hand and not really with the sewing machine, but I at least wanted this part to be on the sewing machine and also the net, which I should join together next. So I thought I have a better silhouette to drape on this. Yeah, let me sew part of that now. I have never sewn this on a machine or by hand, so this is going to be an experience for all of us. So I'm gonna ask for positive vibes out there, although I'm obviously posting this after I do this, but still positive vibes for future projects because I've never done this before. Now I didn't sew it all the way because I wanted to give myself some room for draping it on the dress. So I kind of just went almost half, a little bit over half. So I thought I have some opening to drape and then the rest is united to not be that big of a mess when I'm putting it together. All right, now let's go back to my other working table and now let's drape this over the body of the dress on top of the doll. And I think I'm going to hand sew this on before putting it on the machine. I think a lot of hand sewing would have actually worked a lot better here because of how small things are and because I don't have that much experience sewing on smaller items. So I think for the next step, I'm going to hand sew this and then put it through the machine for a little bit more support. For those wondering, because I obviously freehand the cutting of this, I'm gonna give some measurements just because we got a pretty nice train and we have pretty good height here. So for what I'm gonna call the height of the dress, it is at 10 inches exactly. Can't say because it's off the camera. And then it's like a non-perfect triangle. So let's say it's 10 on this side, and let's go ahead, if this was a perfect line, which it's not, this longer one, which is giving us our train, is at 16 and a half. And then this, I'm trying to find the proper vocabulary here, but it's not coming. This is more in a circle. So I think once you have the 10 and the 16, you can shape this to your desired flared, because this is our more circular end. So this can be up to you, how you choose to do that. I would probably fold the fabric over, do like an overlapping of the corner, get my 10 and my 16 in half, and then cut the circular one to my desired preference. Now that I've given you the measurements for that, let me go ahead and pin it onto the dress to see how it looks. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to hand sew this onto the dress and then maybe take it to the machine. And actually I might not do that, because now that I'm thinking about it, I might do a lot more freehand. I'm calling it freehand, but I might do some more hand sewing instead of machine sewing, even for my ribbons, and leave the finishing touches for the machine. Because I feel like I might want to hide a lot of things on this area. So we might finish at the machine and do most of it by hand. That's what I'm feeling right now. So let's give it a go. So I have sewn the lace onto the dress by hand. I was very tempted to add the hooks already, but I'm trying my best to leave that for last, just because there's a lot of things that I still need to do up here. So like, that's not even a word. Anyways, what I'm intending to say is I went ahead and already cut the ribbon I'm gonna use for the straps. I cut 4, and by cut I mean I took 2. Whoa, that was loud. I took 2 of the ribbons I was saving from Integrity Toys, and I just cut the parts where they were bended, and I just kept the more straight looking parts. I did 4 because I'm thinking of a tie. Like I'm thinking of 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then I'm gonna tie them myself for a bow. How well will that look? I do not know, but we're going to give it a try. Also, I also wanted to mention, also, just a lot of alsos. This is the reason why you want your model to be an older body or an older doll, because this portion I will be sewing by hand on the doll. It's just, to me, it's what makes the most sense right now. So it's what I'm gonna do. Am I a little stressed out about that? Just a tad bit, you know, but we're gonna hope for the best. I just think on this scale, I should probably put her on the stand again. That's why I brought it out, because I'm gonna need it. I just think on this scale, this is so tiny. It just doesn't make sense to freehand, because I need to know exactly where they line up correctly. Now, the only negative about an older body is that it just doesn't have the strength sometimes to stand on its own per se, but it is what it is. As you notice, it falls really nicely. It is a tad bit shorter than I would have liked it to be, but that's not bad. Especially for this style and design. The little like peekaboo of the shoes will be really cute. And we have that effect already going down to the floor on the side and the train, that it gives kind of like a little bit of a high low, but not really a high low. So I'm actually happy with how that came out. This one little flow here is messing with my vibes. Okay, but you see, already getting distracted. We need to focus, and focus is we need to sew these straps on by hands. Now, let's make sure that I have the shiny parts. Sing it, little child. Sing it, child. Sing your heart out. You know, honestly, maybe not putting a bow would be nice. And maybe, because I just feel like tying it into a bow here would be so messy. I'm starting to think. This clean strap is looking nice. And then, oh, that's looking so much more elegant. And if I want to get really crazy with it. No, that's too crazy. That's too crazy. Maybe in the back. Oh, I'm second guessing my bow idea. I really am. But you know what? Let's go ahead and just do this first strap. On the stand, it's not the best idea. It's making sense right about here. That's too low. There. Maybe I should. There. No? There we go. Okay, well, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take wherever that is that it's giving it to me. Am I on camera? Barely. Oh, Lord. I needed to anchor it off my thigh. I don't know why that doesn't feel right. This feels better. So I'm going to do it outside, because I am going to end up doing this ribbon to kind of hide it. Oh, let me push her over here a little bit more. So again, I'm going to do the hand stitch now, but I will secure everything later. Is that the sign? That wasn't the shiny part, guys. Okay, well, you know what? Thankfully, it was just one thread, so I can play with it and kind of maneuver it the way that I want it to go. See, things like that are gonna scratch your doll the more you do it. So this is why you want an older doll. Yeah, the more I'm sewing the strap on, the more I'm like, I don't think I want the bow. It was a very nice idea, but this is one of those moments in life where you design something, and as you're doing it, you know, your ideas are allowed to evolve and change, because I'm liking more of the cleanliness of just a strap like this. instead of a bow. I think we already have so much going on that I don't know, I don't want to distract her with too many things there. Again, I could later down the road, instead of the bow, do the rose there, and that would still give me the same effect. I think that's actually very cute to do that. Not there. I like having it up here instead. So maybe that's something we can play with. All right, so I think for now, no, let me do one more. Let me do one more hand through it. And then I'll move to the back. Just a little knot to secure it. Oh, the knot is full. I think that knot is also still pretty far, but I'll rock with it. What if I do this also? Okay. Let me just cut it there. No, let me not cut it there. See guys, this is why it's taken me so long to sew, because I get really I guess indecisive is the word. I'm pretty good at making decisions in the real world, but not on this scale. See, that was a mistake that we're gonna try our best to maneuver. Okay. Don't know what happened there, but I can clean that out later. Definitely loving this a lot more than the bow. So let's go ahead. Ooh, see, this is where it gets tricky because of the I'm gonna have to let it loose. I am. And then I'm just gonna have to pin it where I want it and then take it off. And because I'm not experienced, I've been saying that a lot lately, can you tell that I like to talk myself down of things? I'll put it back on to do the next strap just so it's in the right place. But for this, it's probably best to take it off and do this off the doll, just because of the way that it was. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put a little bit more thread soon, but for what I need, we are still okay. I think we're okay. So our straps are on front and back, and I really want, it's killing me that I'm really holding off to put this hook. But what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna put the ribbon around this perimeter to hide the way that I did the straps and to go kind of back to the original design where I had that piece of white up here. So let's do that now. Once again, I'm gonna pin and hand sew that and then do all of that in the machine afterwards, just so I can get the placement of it right before going to the machine. Due to the fabrics that I'm using on the machine, this was sliding already as it was. So I wanna make sure that this up here is secure and we could just do one hand to hold everything in place. So let's go ahead and pin the ribbon here. What I have not yet decided though is if the ribbon is gonna hang in the back or not. So let's see how I pin it and what comes to me naturally. So as you could see, I just wasn't loving how big I think the ribbon was, and I really just love how natural this looks and feels. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to wrap this around this area and then fold it inward. So once again, it was a great way to not put the hooks, because maybe I could put the hooks under this, although I don't even know how that's gonna work, but we're gonna figure that out right now. But I think we're at a good place. I'm gonna pin it a little bit more before I go to the machine, but I think we're at a good place to take it to the machine next. I'm a little scared of this movement here because it's very straight line, but I think on the machine it's gonna work very nicely. It's giving very Armani Privé to me right now. I'm not mad at that. Remember how I said I was leaving this all to be sewn by the machine? Well, I forgot how small this was going to be and how big this is. So, yeah, we're gonna do the best we can. I'm gonna figure this out because the ribbon is already kind of falling apart because, well, it is ribbon. Yeah, we're gonna make this work. We really are. Well, my first rookie mistake just happened. I was able to put the ribbon on the dress as I wanted, and then I was also able to do it here, but hold on, I think I might need to lift the camera a bit. Let's bring it up. What I forgot was that the ribbon does not stretch like the fabric does. See, rookie mistake to think that it was all just gonna visually look really good, but not think of the function of it. So now I have a lot bigger of an opening back here, and these straps now don't fit as nicely because they obviously don't go to where they originally were meant to go. So I'm still happy I went with this style of strap and not the bow. What's gonna happen now is, it's not really, it's like centered there, but it's not centered in the front. It's not that bad of a look. So what's gonna happen now is we're gonna do what most people in the bridal industry do, is I'm gonna now place hooks and I'm just going to lace it up like a corset. You know, it's what I've noticed they do and Say Yes to the Dress, so why not? Let's go ahead and put some really tiny hooks that I can lace the ribbon on, and now we'll have a bow in the back. So I'm glad I didn't keep the axis here to give a dramatic bow, because now we're gonna end up getting that effect either way. So let me go ahead and add these hooks. Okay, this is the perfect example of you kind of just have to trust the process, because this was not what I was thinking about doing. But this looks fabulous how it is. Also, let me go ahead and spin her around to the front view while we're here. Okay, a little bit more that way. I mentioned putting the flowers here earlier, and honestly, I'm not really loving that anymore, how this looks. Just feel like this would be just too heavy. There's something very like classic about this look and very clean, and I love the corset vibe going on in the back. I also don't feel the need to lower the straps anymore. They're sitting kind of nicely that way. So what I was thinking off camera is, I think I'm just gonna take one of these little rosés, not rosés. What are they called? There's a name for them, but you get the drift. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sew one right here in the middle and give it that little touch, because it's just missing something, and I think this something would be just the touch that it needs. I did for a brief minute think of like adding random flowers around here, but that's just team too much. I actually really like how clean, classic, and simplistic it looks, and I really think that right now it just allows pretty mint color to shine and the whole like flow of it. It has this very like ethereal, clean goddess look. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pick one of these up, just put one and just center it right there, and then call it a day. I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera, and then when you see this look again in a few seconds, it will be on our new model, all accessorized and styled to create the final vision that I've been having for this dress. But you know what? I have to say, for the emotional roller coaster I've been on in this video, this is actually a pretty good result. And I would like to add that this is a great example of you can start with an idea, but it's important to have an open mind, because sometimes where the journey takes you could be a lot better than where the journey started, because I've never actually planned on doing this and I'm obsessed with it right now. Now, I also want to point out I did not sew this up any further, and I don't really think it needs it. I went ahead and put the bow in there because it was just annoying me, but the way that it lays and folds, it's pretty nice, so I don't think it's necessary. And I also just left this part unsewn, but you'll see it later. It lays really nice, so it doesn't need it. Pretty much, I'm just telling myself that no matter what, with the lack of planning, it actually turned out a lot better. So let me go ahead and add that one rose, and for the first time ever, let's head to an actual fashion show for my first ever doll design on the YouTube channel.